The tragic story of Cadillac. Cadillac has always been known for its luxury cars. If you think about the Cadillac brand, you probably think about rich people driving around in fancy cars. But did you know Cadillac went through phases of turbulent periods? The early years of Cadillac were full of tragedy and heartache. In today's video, we will take a look at the history of this famous car brand and see what happened along the way. So watch this video till the end to find out, and do not forget to like this video. The Cadillac brand is one of the oldest in the United States, and it's had its ups and downs over the years. The first Cadillac was made in 1902, but it wasn't until later that it became a household name. The first few Cadillacs were V8-powered vehicles designed by Henry Leland. Henry Leland was an inventor and machinist of great reputation. He worked briefly with Henry Ford before they eventually parted ways. The V8-powered vehicles he created featured innovations like independent front suspension systems that made them smoother on rough terrain than any other car on the market at the time. They could even climb hills without getting stuck. These advancements helped change how we think about driving today. Cadillac made it to the top list of automobile sales from 1904 to 1915. And changed its name to Cadillac Motor Car Company in 1905. It was around this period when the first four-cylinder model Cadillac was invented. Being the first of its kind, Leland realized that if there were ready-made, standardized car parts, it would improve the consistency of quality parts and provide an avenue for more people to buy cars. To do this, Leland set up a competition consisting of 3 stock Cadillacs and had them shipped to the UK, where they were raced on Brooklands tracks. Subsequently, each of the 3 Cadillacs were disassembled and then reassembled, and then the cars were raced again in the company of other cars. Your guess is as good as right. Cadillac won the competition. Following the victory in the race, Cadillac won the trophy for the interchangeability of manufactured parts, making it the first American car brand to win the trophy. This period was the period of consolidation among car companies. Billy Durant came up with the notion of buying car companies alongside part suppliers and then merging them under one umbrella, leading to the establishment of General Motors in 1909. General Motors acquired Cadillac Motor Company for $4.5 million as one of the foremost markets to be added to the fold. You will not believe what you will see next. By the time the General Motors purchased the company in 1909, Cadillac was already established as one of America's luxury car makers. The interchangeability of its parts became the yardstick of the modern production of automobiles. Cadillac was the first made-in-America car to win the Royal Automobile Club of the United Kingdom's Jeweler Trophy by successfully demonstrating the interchangeability of its component during a reliability test in 1908. In 1912, Cadillac became the first car company to incorporate an electrical system enabling starting, ignition, and lighting. By 1915, Cadillac had dominated the American automotive industry through its V8 engine, indicating the continuity of standard and quality. The V8 engine was followed by the production of the Cadillac Type 517 passenger car, which was also a pointer to Cadillac's consistency. The V8 engine was coupled with the Type 517B to form the greatest car of its period. During World War I, the brand was shipped overseas to be used as Army staff cars. With a host of competitors trailing Cadillac, the brand introduced a radical change in style and engineering. To this effect, Cadillac hired Harley Earl, a custom coach builder and designer from California. Earl incorporated innovative designs and formed the art and colored unit of General Motors. The period marked the first time a designer, rather than an engineer, would design a car. Moving forward, Earl designed a smaller version of the Cadillac. Eventually, by 1927, the new model was ready, called La Salle. The model was a symbol of quality and luxury. Even at that, Cadillac still wanted more and shot for the stars. So, in 1926, Cadillac commenced work on innovation. The innovation was the production of a 16-cylinder engine. which later birthed the 1931 Cadillac V16. Basically, the V16 was made for the elite and completely out of reach for struggling members of society. The V16 had one of the best features among the cars of the period. It has an impressive aesthetic and consumes a reasonable amount of fuel. By the mid-1930s, there were different Cadillacs of different body types to suit the fancy of buyers. This is not the whole story. It is even going to get crazier. Keep watching. Cadillac was simply missing out on the market because it wasn't changing with the times. It didn't offer any new or innovative designs, which meant that people began to lose interest in the brand. By 1938, sales had dropped dramatically, and Cadillac was no longer considered a luxury car company. However, Cadillac picked up again in the 1940s when the Fleetwood was introduced. Its most famous models include the Escalade SUV, the XT5 crossover SUV, and the CT6 sedan. In 1951, Cadillac reached for the upmarket, creating the hand-built Series 70 Eldorado Brougham. The model featured a self-leveling suspension and an all-transistor signal-seeking car. However, the company hit a snag in 1982 when American Motors Corporation, or AMC, took over its management and operations. However, that didn't last long because AMC went bankrupt in 1988, leaving Cadillac owner General Motors to take back control of the brand once again. Despite GM's ownership, Cadillac struggled to compete with other luxury car brands because it didn't have enough marketing funds or technology compared to its competitors. The company was also struggling compared to other luxury car brands such as Rolls-Royce and Mercedes-Benz. While these two brands were thriving compared to Cadillac, they weren't doing so well against each other either. The problem here is that all three companies were making similar cars, luxurious vehicles with V8 engines and leather interiors, and air conditioning. Wait a minute, this is not everything. Later in the video, we will show you how Cadillac went from a top car brand to a low-rated brand, tragically. Cadillac, like many car companies, had been riding on its success for years. But when a new generation of cars came out, such as the Ford Model A and the Chrysler Airflow, Cadillac didn't adapt to them. In fact, they were content to stay with their classic designs, while other brands changed their offerings and styles every few years. This meant that Cadillac didn't have any new models or designs, and even then, they were only slight variations. Gradually, Cadillac's sales and the brand's market share in the luxury car market were also on the decline. In addition to this, their reputation was suffering because they had failed to produce good quality cars in recent years. Customers who once thought highly of Cadillac were now choosing other brands like Mercedes and BMW over them. Cadillac's image was not as good as it used to be either, because customers had stopped believing that Cadillacs would stand out from other luxury cars when it came to performance or quality of build materials used for manufacturing these vehicles. The brand has had a long history that is gradually fading away, and while plenty of people mourn this loss, others have moved on to other luxury brands. It's hard to know whether Cadillac would have become more popular if it had stayed in business. However, its legacy lives on today in the form of other luxury cars with similar characteristics. Do not forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel for similar videos.